We knew this was coming, but we know there are lots of questions out there about what's best for your children. We're joined this evening live by Dr. Bruce Barnett. Dr. Barnett is a pediatric pulmonologist with ProMedica and a partner of the V Project. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I was just talking to someone today who, and this is what I've been hearing far and wide with parents, they say they just don't want to be the first ones, their kids, to get this vaccination. But in fact, there have been many kids who've received the vaccination, right?
Well, this is just another one of the vaccinations that we're going to be giving, I think, this fall. We're really excited. These 28 million kids are going to really have a shot, so to speak, at protecting themselves through the worst of COVID. We talk about how COVID isn't bad for children, and by and large, it is not as severe, and they don't have as many hospitalizations and certainly don't have nearly as many really, really severe events. But there are kids who do have severe events. We have something like 86,000 people who've already been hospitalized on the pediatric side across the country. So this is a real thing. And we also know that they can be reservoirs for holding the virus in their nose. So the shot is a really good thing. It's been endorsed by every pediatric society and every medical group across the country. So we're really ecstatic to have this as another little trick that we have in our toolbox, so to say, to protect kids from getting sick.
And that may be comforting news, the fact that this has been studied and approved by so many organizations. Talk to us about some of the questions you've been getting specifically from parents about the vaccine. What seem to be the biggest concerns?
Well, I think that the two biggest things I hear about is side effects. What are the side effects? And the side effects that we have read about, because no one has experience with it except for those who participated in the studies. So we don't really have actual experience in our offices yet, but we will quite quickly. But the same side effects that we normally see with any sort of vaccine, we see headache, and we see fatigue and general kind of not feeling up to normal self, and just kind of general body aches, and of course pain at the site. But those are the common side effects. The studies were really well done. They did what they called a random controlled trial, and they gave some patients a real vaccine and some patients just placebo, which is just salt water. And the side effects were equal in both groups. There were no real side effects to speak of in this group. Some of the older kids in the previous group that came forward had some concerns about heart inflammation, and we didn't see any of that in any of the almost 5,000 in the first two groups that were vaccinated.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that heart inflammation. Thanks so much for addressing that.
I'm sorry, that's called myocarditis, and it primarily occurred in the 16 to 19-year-old age group, not in any of the kids in this group at all so far. So we're obviously going to be very vigilant for it, but we're not particularly worried about it. So we do have, and I can't say it enough, is that we do have kids who do very poorly with COVID, especially those kids with other what we call medical comorbidities or other conditions. And I would really encourage everyone to seriously think about getting their children 5 to 11 vaccinated. It's my grandbabies aren't old enough for it yet, but if they were, they would be getting it tomorrow. So
all right, Doctor, thank you so much for your time tonight. We really appreciate the clarification for the parents who are concerned about that. Thanks so much.